My problem is that everything is on a different fucking screen, and it's driving me a little mental. So we're live early, which rarely happens. Oh, there I am. You're my viewer. Hi, Noisy. What does it mean sign into chat? Oh, for fuck's sake. It's being a dick to me. It's showing me the live chat, but I can't chat in the live chat. Oh, because I'm not signed in as that. I hate YouTube a little bit. I hate Streamlabs a lot. I hate all of these things that have happened. This action cannot be performed within inside Streamlabs desktop. To interact with chat, you can open this chat in a web browser. There it is. So I can only look at the chat there, even though it's got all the stuff to actually do that. Oh, there's that. Right, okay. View your live stream in a web browser. Oh, that's the channel. Okay. Edit your live stream title and description. Go to your live, refresh chat. Why can't I sign in? Yeah, Streamlabs is apparently shit. But I can't cancel my subscription till I've actually managed to use it. Such a pain in the ass. Todd, do I have a TikTok for you coming up shortly? Hop on over to YouTube. We're on youtube.com/earlymorningbarking. Where we're going to be. We're here as well. I'm not turning off TikTok, but you know, I am on TikTok as well. Yes, I'm telling all the YouTube people. All of them. One person. I do dread nights like tonight. There are nights when it's just so hard to get things going for some reason. And I swear I suffer a Monday night curse. And I think now, especially like 10:30, when it's like it's too late for the British people and it's too early for the Americans. So I never know quite what to do with it. It's a weird one. You know, annoyingly, Jacob goes live at the best time. You know, that is so irritating. I would love to. Sunday evening. Genius. Why didn't I think of that? You know, I don't know. What is that flashing light on my camera? That's new. I have no idea what that light means. None whatsoever. Wow, that's distracting. Just flashing red at me. This whole thing is... Ah. I have just had a mass of technical problems before starting tonight, and I'm kind of getting fucked off with it, if I'm perfectly honest. No TikTok randoms. I don't want to go live with a TikTok random. Why do people do that? What is that about? Are they hoping that they can go live with me? I don't know. Hi, BPD Rave. Welcome to the show, such as it is tonight. I have a topic in mind and everything, you know. Although I don't know how we're going to talk about it. Just kind of hanging out, because I said I wasn't going to start till 12:30, and it's only just hit 12:30. Or 7 minutes past 12, that's a timer. That's the time. I keep nearly smoking. Todd, on TikTok, I will get to your question, actually. Want to answer a lot. And yeah, you've got multiple angles tonight. Which has got to be good, right? Let's see. I put out a tweet. What else can I do? By the way, I'm not exactly seeing massive, if any, benefit from my blue tick right now. I don't know if I'm just not using Twitter enough and not like talking to people and not whatever. I don't know, but I'm not exactly rolling in new followers and stuff like that. It's one of those things. I had expected more interesting things to happen with it. I'll be perfectly honest. Wow, that flashing thing on my camera is really, really irritating. Makes me want to press buttons on my... Oh no. Did that. That's it. Yeah, we're on probably. I'm assuming it's all working right now. Whatever. See, this is good. People are turning up now, you see. Before we start, it's good to sort of wait around and let people turn up. Well, there's actually more people on YouTube than there are on TikTok. Are people getting more used to me doing live streams now? Because my audiences are still painfully small. Audiences have been painfully small across the board for me last week. Which is kind of scary a little bit. I'm trying not to worry too much, but things are not going well in terms of views and audience and stuff like that. I'm starting to get worried. I don't know if we all go through this process or what, or I don't know, but yeah, I'm starting to get concerned. Like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? You know, is it subjects? Is it who knows what it is? I also worry that it's because I've changed my thumbnails. I don't know if that could be a thing. YouTube talks so much about thumbnails and about how important thumbnails are and that sort of thing. And they've always been an afterthought to me, which is maybe a problem. But it's partly because I'm crap at artwork and all that sort of thing. I hate the stereotypical YouTube shocked face thumbnail rubbish. Because you end up with everybody's thumbnail just looks the same. And you are sent guidelines by YouTube about this. And I need something quick and easy that I can throw together for each video. It can't be complicated. I know that there are big YouTube channels that have artists that sit and just do thumbnails. And that would be great. But who's got that? You know, I'm not exactly Linus Media Group here. And I don't have that level of output anyway. I just need, I mean, look, the advantage of the ones I do, they are thrown together in 15 seconds. And they're nothing but a label. And part of me is there's this rebellious feeling of like, if you don't want to watch it based on what it's called, then fuck you. You know? Like, absolutely screw you. Why should I want to do something like that? It's the Gomez. Oh my god, shocking thing. And yet I have emails from YouTube saying, please do a shocking face, do a surprised face on a thing. And it's like, no, I will not. I will not do that. And so I've ended it with that thing where I take a screen grab from a video and put it on. But I don't actually like any of those. I think that looks awful. I don't like those. I quite like what I've been doing at the moment, but it has no picture of me on it. No shocked YouTube gormless face. And so, does it matter? Do people care at this point? I don't know. I try and think about it when I'm doing my own clicking on YouTube's, and I don't know how much it influences me. I know that the obnoxious YouTube face puts me off. I know that. So that's why I have trouble putting it on my own stuff. I don't want to do that. And I don't have... What do you want? Like a shocked face for... BPD splitting. Oh my God. You know? It's like, why? What? You know? Sorry, I got caught up in chat then for a minute. So who knows what's going on. But this week, the views have just been toileted. Absolutely appalling views this week. Which is never encouraging. You know, you're kind of just hoping that everything will keep going upwards forever. And things have just gone sideways. Really. But it is frustrating, to say the very least. But we're here to talk about... I do have a sort of topic of the day, which is a new sort of development to sort of steer conversation. I mean, you can make an effort, can't you? That's the thing. You can make an effort. And I think this sort of, you know, we want to talk about confidence. That's our word of the week. Confidence. Wishing I could do a Pee Wee Herman impression that was even remotely recognizable as that. And I can't, so I'm not going to. I know my limitations as a person. Hi, Kat. Welcome to the show. And so we want to talk about confidence. This is what makes me miss doing call-ins. We have to find a way to do this. How do we do a call-in thing live so that people can call? Is Skype still a thing? That seems a bit like, surely no one uses Skype. Surely that's not a thing. Or maybe it is. Zoom? It's not really calling in then. Can you call in on Zoom? I mean, because I miss doing that. I miss like random calls from strangers. How do we do it now? How does one randomly accept calls on the internet in 2023? Skype? I mean, Skype? It's what I used to do. Like an animal. Skype? But then what else? What replaced Skype? Nothing replaced Skype. Can you zoom into me? Can I have a... Right, hang on. I have Zoom. I don't have Zoom Pro. Because who has Zoom Pro? I could get Zoom Pro if it was a thing. I'm opening Zoom. Whoever does this, whoever just opens Zoom as an app, what's it doing? You either have a Zoom call or Zoom is closed, isn't it? You don't... Who does a thing? Yeah, you can't get like phone calls on Zoom, can you? Like, that's not a thing. Yes, Skype. I think I get like free Skype minutes as part of my Office 365 thing. I wonder how many of those Skype minutes are ever used. Like, if we're all getting an hour of free Skype minutes with our Office 365 things, then, because like you, Elton, I've not opened Skype in years and years and years. Because why would you? What are you going to use it for? Do I even have it? It's not on this machine. Not on here. But I don't think I can. I can't there's no public thing where I can like take calls or something like that. Discord is the next. Discord was the thing, and I've used that for podcasting. But even then, that's more like a. Well, that's a group chat. That's just general audio chat within Discord, isn't it? See, that was a plan I had originally. Right, was that I would take audio calls on live shows from via Discord, because that would mean that only people who'd signed up to Patreon could get in the Discord and could call me. So that kind of removed a bit of the wild west element of being live on Facebook and being live on YouTube and saying call me, which quite frankly is asking for it. So if you limit that to only people who are paying to be in my Discord can call, then all great, right? But then I ran into that snag of not being able to get YouTube members onto the Discord and just abandoned it. Because if I can't get everyone who pays a membership onto there, then I can't do anything. So that's what that is. If I could get YouTube memberships to log on to the Discord, then we might well be onto something. But until then, I have no idea what to do with it. Discord's fine. Discord is an app. That's great. Which is fine, but it's a case of figuring out how to do that with it. If I could get YouTube members into Discord, then I'd go for it. I would just do that if I could figure out how to do that. And that would somewhat revive the Discord. And then having Discord members call into live shows would somewhat entice people to become members on Patreon and that sort of thing. You can see how it goes. Hi, Ange, how you doing? You know, that in itself is a good thing, because that shows that interaction. And then you can call in and we can become friends, and it's great. But in order to do it, we need to figure out how to link YouTube to Discord. So I have no fucking clue. I couldn't make it work. I could not make it work at all. It was so very odd. But yeah. Oh, hi. I missed somebody on TikTok there. Hi, on TikTok. We're also live on YouTube if you want to jump over. Can I put, I wonder if I can put things on the screen. On TikTok. No, not with that. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. ADHD brain. Whatever. Have you all seen today's video, by the way? I know you haven't. It's very underviewed. I thought at least today's title was a bit was bullshit enough to sort of entice people in. Are you guessing how old I am on TikTok? 30. God bless you. I'm 44. I'm just in bad light. Yeah, so I don't know. It's 8 out of 10 of my last few videos. Currently on 34 views, which is fucking pathetic and almost not worth bothering. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting... This is weird. I am not really getting any more views on videos than I was the day I started posting videos on YouTube. That is such a weird thing, but it's true. It's barely, views have barely grown at all. Views across everything have grown. You know, I get enough views, but like on an individual video basis, they're fucking low. Like and weirdly low. And even as a proportion of my audience, it's extremely low, and it's never gone up. You know, and I find that very odd, and I also find it extremely fucking frustrating because the number of subscribers I have has grown. You know, my footprint generally on the internet has grown. TikTok especially. Hi Olive, how you doing? I need unified chat for everything because I keep missing stuff, and TikTok's very tiny. Go and watch your own confidence video you posted. Yeah, I know. I'm very much on a down at the moment. The worst thing is though, is when you're on a confidence down and you've got shit to back it up with. Right? I've got receipts. I've got terribly performing videos that are right there in front of me, and it's doing my nutting. So how do we get that MPD up? I don't need cheering up. I don't need perking up, and it's not like I'm stopping, you know. It's not. If anything, this bit just I become entangled in it. I become like obsessed. Like this is all I'm going to be able to think about and focus on for a while until it's sorted. There is so, you know, and I was already pretty bad with it. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. And so that confidence, I don't know what to do with it right now. I don't know what to do. I am low on confidence. Extremely low on confidence. And I feel personally I've taken a lot of hits recently of confidence, and I kind of want to just sort of step back from things that keep trying it. Where do I get my confidence from, you ask? Nowhere. I just right. I don't know what else to do. That's my issue. I have to keep going at what I'm doing. I'm not confident at it. I just don't know what else to do. And so I have to just keep going. And in times like this, that is like really, really, really difficult. And it's, you know, it's gosh, like you're saying it, you know, it's great saying things that you appreciate about me in the chat room and stuff like that. And that is great, and I appreciate that, but it doesn't move the needle. It really doesn't. Because the fear is the fear, the worry, the concern isn't that I'm not appreciated. That's not what's going on. I'm not sat here going, oh, I'm unappreciated and tantruming over that. That's not what it is. I know that there are people who appreciate me. I know that there are people who benefit from what I do, from all of this sort of thing. I get that. And I enjoy that. I appreciate it. It is a benefit to me. But that isn't the criteria by which I'm judging stuff. Right? If what I wanted was to be really appreciated, awesome. I am swimming around in it. It's brilliant and it's great. I feel appreciated. But that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not my goal. That's not the end I'm moving to. So it doesn't help. It doesn't perk me up. What perks me up is something positive happening with regards to moving towards my end goal. And no one can just sort of make that happen. Um and it is frustrating when you just feel unable to move towards your goal and you don't know what to do next. And that confidence is just kicked in the balls. And you don't know what to do. And it sort of brings around, look, the obsession with the situation, because there's panic and anxiety, because like, who knows what to do next? Who knows what the next step is, right? The goal is to grow all this stuff and monetize this stuff to the point of uh, a livable income. That's your goal. And I'm, we're not having any real restrictions on how that happens. We're not saying it has to be through advertising or memberships or anything like that. But that's the goal. And you do things that try and move you towards that. The biggest one being like growing your audience, because you're getting a certain proportion of your audience that are only a certain proportion of your audience are ever going to contribute anything, which is perfectly true. How many YouTube videos or creators do you watch where you just never contribute anything? And maybe some of you will contribute something to a couple of them, but none of us do something for everyone, and that's fine. So the greater your audience, the more people you represent that proportion of creators that they give things to, that they consume things from. So I'm not talking about necessarily donations and stuff like that, but buying merch and subscribing to memberships and that sort of thing. So you want to grow that, and that becomes a big thing. But then views are a big thing. Getting that's advertising revenue, all sorts of stuff. And so you keep going through this list of what is that you can do. There are things you can do, and trying to do those things. And the bigger your audience you have, the more chance you have of all these things working. And it's sort of like, when you're trying to move towards that and you're doing all the things, but nothing is happening, then then your confidence is just gone because you're stuck. And being stuck is a great time to run out of confidence. That's when it happens. That's when it is. If I knew what I was doing, if I knew what the next step was, if I was seeing things unfold positively, I would feel a lot more confident. And my problem has always been this lack of seeing things move forward positively. And it sometimes gets a lot. It sometimes becomes a great deal to try and fight your way through. But what else can you do? You're going to give up and try and just be like, like a normal person or something. I couldn't do that. So, you just have to keep doing it. And the confidence is one of those things, like the longer you try and get it, the harder it becomes to get it. It can come on quite quickly. But the longer you have to fight for it, the longer you have to go through whatever it is you're going through, that confidence. You have a lot more memory of things going wrong than of things going right, It's right there. It's difficult stuff. Yeah, I missed some of the chat there, Molly. Sorry, this is the one downside with doing two platforms at once or more. God knows how this works when I go to when I multi-platform this stuff. Hi Emily on the on TikTok there. We're on YouTube as well at the same time if you want to come on over. Um but you know, you keep trying things, you keep doing things. That's why the one-on-ones are available now. That's why that's the thing. That's why you keep trying things like merch and uh Patreon courses and stuff like that. And it's I don't want to sound like, right, I didn't come here to talk about this stuff as such. I really did come here to talk about confidence. But this is the stuff that shakes mine. Right? This is the stuff that I struggle with. Other bits of confidence, I am totally fine with. Okay? There are so many things regarding personal confidence, not a problem for me. You know, while I worry about this, I'm not worried about, say, doing a gig on stage with the band. I don't care about that. Some people would be terrified of that. Being on stage in front of people, that's terrifying to some people. I understand that, and I get why. There's all those people looking at you. What if you screw it up? What if you fall off the stage? What if your guitar explodes? So many things, right? And I don't, not a single worry about any of those things in my head. Not anything. Because it's an area where far more positive experience than negative. I can't think of a negative. I don't know. I can think of many things that have happened on stage that you may deem as negative, but that were just an experience and were fine and were not frightening at all or anything like that. I mean, there was that time in Barnsley, some old guy got on stage and started taking all his clothes off, but that was more disgusting than terrifying. And that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. But this stuff does. It's a weird thing. Yeah, you get confidence from knowing that you can handle what challenges come your way. This is true, and that comes from experience. It comes from handling challenges, right? However, where I am with stuff, what I feel like is it's possible, I haven't handled this challenge ever. That's also the problem, right? What you're talking about is like being able to look at the problem that one finds oneself in and saying, well, I know the solution to this. I know how to handle this. And then solving it, handling it, dealing with it. That's not happening. Right? All that's happening is not freaking out, which is in itself an achievement. It's worth saying because historically, freaking out is what has occurred. Totally what has occurred. But at the same time, it's still not enough of an improvement. Still not. If you need to move at 10 miles an hour and traditionally you move at 1, it's true that moving to 5 miles an hour is an improvement, but it's still not 10, is it? And there's only so much well done you're moving 5 miles an hour that you can take before you think, yeah, but I want 10. I need 10. And that's where I am with that. How are we doing on TikTok? Yeah, Emily, I always think my confidence never really had any. That is what that is an upcoming thing. Right? That's Wednesday's video. That sneak peek of MPD and confidence. That it's all bullshit. It's all a lie. There is no confidence in cluster. There is no confidence in cluster B. None of us fucking have it. It's all a lie. Oh, you beg to differ. Yes, but I beg to differ your difference, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I don't think there is confidence, right? I don't think that confidence is necessarily about not caring what other people think. I don't think that's confidence. Being able to do what you want to do in the face of everybody else, I don't necessarily think that is confidence. It feels like it looks like it, but I don't think it is it. Define confidence for you. Let's actually look this up. And I know we're getting picky with stuff. I'll get deeper into this. Confidence, the feeling that you can trust, believe in, and be sure about the abilities or good qualities of someone or something. And I don't think that not caring what people think about what you do is that. I don't think that's what that is. Trust, believe in, and be sure about the abilities of or good qualities of someone or something. Be sure about the abilities or good qualities. To have confidence in somebody slash something. The word I have issue with in that definition is the word good. If I were to say to somebody, I have. So do I think you lack confidence? No. But let me give you another example. Is the absence of fear the same as bravery? It feels like a similar thing to that. It is an outright absence of fear the same as bravery? And I don't think it necessarily is. Bravery is not an absence of fear. Bravery is doing what needs to be done in the face of fear. As you say, feeling fear, but doing it anyway. And so to return to confidence, is confidence. I see it more as it is that belief, that outcome, that doing what you need to do in the face of the opposite. That I will do what I'm doing because I'm brave in the face of the fear. And I think in terms of confidence, the fear is not doing it, not getting what you want, not following through, not being successful, whatever. And the confidence is that belief that you will. And I think if you're in a situation where you simply just don't care, then that's the same as just not feeling that fear in the first place. Of course, then you're doing it, and it looks the same, but it's not the same. And that's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Confidence is feeling the self doubt, but doing it anyway. Having that belief. Yeah, I feel this, but I believe this. And so if someone were to, you know, not even care what other people think, not be part of that, then just doing what they want, then I don't think that counts as the same as confidence, in the same way that feeling no fear is not the same as bravery. It's a difficult thing, and I think I'm far too caught up on it because it's really not important. But my point is that I think in many forms there's no confidence in cluster B in general. There are things we can be confident about. Okay, you're going to find exceptions. I'm blanket statementing. I know this, but no, I don't think we can be. It's just generally as a people. I just don't think that we're confident. And I think that, there's no confidence in BPD. In NPD, the most confident of them all? No, it's NPD in itself is a severe lack of confidence. Any confidence shown in NPD is just a blatant lie. That's the whole point of it. It is performative confidence. It is meaningless. It's not real, never has been. There's so a lack of self-belief one way or another, I think. And that sort of it's an odd thing. I think we lack it one way or another. You can build it. Yeah, you're right, Ange. You can build confidence. And I think that's absolutely true. I think I have built confidence in myself, and in those ways that I have confidence now, um, I feel great. But it's been difficult to build that confidence in all areas of life, right? Um, but it is doable. And it's sort of, do you know something like it used to like, God, like meeting new people, making new friends, dating, that sort of thing. What if someone doesn't like me? What if they don't like me? Worrying about projecting a positive image. Thank you for a subscription. Um, projecting that positive image and being liked and that, and worrying, what if someone doesn't like me? What if someone doesn't like me? And now I'm at a point of, oh, fuck you. I don't care. Right? It's impossible to upset me because you reach a point where you think, well, I like me. I think I'm a pretty cool guy, one way or another. So if someone doesn't like me, fine. That's their choice. And to not take it to that MPD point of, well, they don't like me, they're an idiot. Or they're, that more retaliative, aggressive way of taking it. But to just be okay with, there's 8 billion people on Earth. I don't like a lot of them. Why would I can expect a lot of them to not like me and it not be my fault or mean that I'm a bad person or whatever. And that confidence just grows when you start to like yourself, which in itself is a very difficult position for someone with BPD to get to. That's where the 3 years of therapy gets you to that. Being comfortable with who I am. Even when you've got, very little to go on. Excuse me, my eyes are being horrible to me this evening. When you've got very little to work with in terms of who you are and what you like and what you do and how you react. And maybe a lot of the stuff that's left over is stuff you really don't like and really don't want. Reaching a point of being comfortable with you is a very, you know, difficult, long path to take. But you can do that. That one I've done. that one I've done. It all begins with that sense of self. It's so the most important BPD marker, and it just gets stuck in the middle like it's nothing. Like, we're all like, fear of abandonment is the biggest problem we've got. And is it? Fuck. The more time I spend with the BPD diagnostic criteria, the more I realize the way they are presented and the way they're put together are just bollocks. They're just, it's just fucking stupid. Because so many of them are a result of others. And the key one, the most basic, fundamental, bedrock, foundational problem of BPD is the lack of sense of self. Everything stems from that. Why is it not called lack of sense of self disease? It's that important. And we just gloss over it. We just gloss, oh, it's just there in the middle. And we focus more on unstable relationships. Why do you think we have unstable relationships? It's because of the lack of sense of self. As is the fear of abandonment. You could get rid of like 2 or 3 BPD markers and just cover them all with lack of self-identity. They all come from that. And it's there's so, that's the most important one. That's the most important one to work on, to fix, to allow you to get better above all the others. And I wasn't getting anywhere till I started working on that one. At all. And it is the answer. Like, how do you stop your fear of abandonment? You have to get okay with your self-identity. How do you stop your unstable relationships? You have to become okay with your self-identity and who you are and being happy in yourself and so many other things. It's all that. Am I shouting? Sorry. And what you're saying, BPD rave, and dissociation plays into that lack of self or whole and leads into fractured selves, also extremely common in people with BPD that so many brush over. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's just so many. What weird thing just happened in the chat? Okay. Okay. So yeah, anyway, lost my train of thought now. Something weird just happened, didn't it? Yeah? Okay. But getting to know yourself sounds so wanky. It's the most of all the stuff I talk about. It's so the wankiest sounding stuff. You've got to learn to love yourself. It feels like we should all get the Little Book of Calm and get to know ourselves. Give yourself a hug. This is the kind of crap that should be done in, like, counting cross-stitch and hung on walls. Give yourself a hug. And I hate it. It's so twee. And that makes it hard to take in. It makes it hard to deal with and all of that. And it sounds so obvious. That's the other stuff, but it's not. And if it's obvious, why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? There's so much we don't do. I want to find out what happened so much. Why don't we do it more? And it's because we just don't think. We just don't think. Whereas, yeah, you're right, Zozo, on TikTok. It's hard to love yourself when you're so self-destructive. It's hard to get to know yourself. It's hard to do things for you, to be about you, to do all that stuff. Um, it's difficult. Doable though. That's the doable stuff. Getting to know yourself, getting to like yourself, getting happy with who you are, your sense of self-identity. That I'm more cool with. That's Friday's video, right? But the rest of the stuff, how do you get confident in yourself, like what you're doing, without positive reinforcement? That's the key, isn't it? There is an element of positive reinforcement, and that's a tricky thing because you can't do that. That has to happen to you. Somebody else has to do that for you. That positive reinforcement. And it's, what if that never comes? You know? What if that positive reinforcement never comes, or it's a struggle to get that, or you just sort of get far more negative reinforcement than you do positive? It makes life so much harder. And I don't beyond like blind continuance, just getting on with stuff, trying to ignore it gets hard after a while. You know, as we say, it's not the falling down, it's how we get back up. Which is great, but don't you eventually get fed up of getting back up? You know, don't you get fed up of falling down? How many times can you fall down before getting up is, it's harder every time. Harder every time. And that's the catch. Depends on where you're at age wise. You know a guy. Yeah, it gets harder as you get older, you know. And eventually you just sort of think, fuck it. But ultimately, what are you going to do? I'm talking myself down into some sort of defeat here. I need to pick myself up. Oh, that was about the negative reinforcement. I don't know. I have people on so many chat things. I can't keep up with this. I need unified chat. I was looking into systems that let me go on TikTok as well, and they're not good. And it's also remarkably hard to stream on TikTok without using TikTok official stuff. They tend to sort of block you, apparently. Which is, in and of itself, not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Sorry, just scrolling through some things. Just dealing with some stuff. How are we all doing here? But is everyone you still with me? This is good. This is good. And we have quite a few people in TikTok as well. Thank you all for coming out on your Monday night. Hopefully next week on Twitch as well. It's kind of gonna there'll be less TikTok stuff, I think. Once I'm up and running better on Twitch, we're going Twitch all the way. As the main platform, I think it's by far the nicest to do this on. YouTube's a pain in the ass. TikTok seems to know what they're doing. TikTok's pretty good. But I don't know. I kind of like Twitch a lot more. So I'd rather go with it that way. I think, in future. So hopefully next week we'll see how long it takes them to fix this damn app. Yeah, there's lots. Although, sorry, sorry to YouTube people. I'm reading a TikTok comment from Zozo who says, "You see movies about finding yourself, and they break up, travel, read, etc. Tad hard to do that with BPD and fear of abandonment." Absolutely. Um, it's what look. There's something I don't talk about a lot, and the reason why I don't talk about it a lot is because, well, I'll talk about it and then we'll see. It's because it's going to be very obvious why I don't talk about it a lot. And so, this whole find yourself stuff, and it's hard to do when you can't do all those things because you've got BPD, right? All of those things that I did with the finding myself and finding who I was and finding things I like and all of that sort of thing. I did that after the relationship I was in came to an end. And I have come to the conclusion, and I think there might be data to back me up on this, but staying with the person that you're with, staying in your relationship, and effectively healing BPD is a very hard thing to do. And I think the majority of people end up leaving the relationship that they're in for one reason or another. And then going through that process that we're talking about, that breakup, travel, read, etc. For me, it was other things, and whatever it is appropriate for the individual. It's a great thing if you want to write a book about it and then have Julia Roberts be in a movie. But it's the thing, right? And it was when I was left alone, just to be me, not trying to fit into the context of being with somebody else, with being in a relationship, with pleasing somebody else. When I was finally left to just be me, that's when I started discovering stuff. That's when I started really healing. Because I wasn't trying to fit into, it wasn't me in the world of me and someone else. It was just me. And that is something that I don't think we talk about a lot, if at all. And I think it's because if we start saying to people, if you start really trying to heal your BPD, it may probably well bring your current relationship to an end. Then I think that's going to be off-putting to people. Because, of course it is. Of course it is. Because when you start, you don't want to leave the person you're with. And you are scared of ever leaving the person that you're with. And it remains scary for a long time afterwards. And I'm not saying if you try to heal your BPD or to effectively heal your BPD, you must eventually break up with your significant other. That's not what I'm saying. But there are a lot of elements that push you in that direction. A lot of elements. And it's off-putting. Of course we don't talk about it. I've talked about healing past people, learning to be better at communication than they are and getting stuck in that frustrated rut. But at the same time, that happens. You end up needing to move on. And that was hard enough for me as it was. I was not going to get better where I was. That was never going to happen. Because I was trying to get better for somebody else, to please someone else. And doing all of that was part of what was wrong with me. You know? And so I needed to be on my own. I needed to be me. And I needed to maintain that self-identity. And now even within a relationship, it's important to me to not lose that very newly found sense of self. And that's not been a challenge. That's not hard. Right? It's not a difficult thing. It was a difficult thing for me previously because I wasn't aware that I needed to do it. And I wasn't aware of what that involved. Right? I wanted to lose I didn't have an identity. I wanted to be involved in a relationship that took that away, that was a relationship that in itself was my identity. And I didn't understand before I was doing it how unhealthy and stifling that is. And how likely that is to run into problems as a relationship. You can't take all your identity from that. Eventually you're going to run into something you hate. And you can't get rid of it because it's not just yours. You know? But it is a thing that leaving that relationship, that not being able to carry on, and then seeing all the harm that's happening and trying to do something about it and not being able to because the other person isn't on the same page as you anymore. And they haven't, gone through that same process that you have. And in some cases, maybe they've got their own fucking issues they need to fucking deal with and face up to that they never will. So, there's that as well. But it's strangely specific. So it is indeed, that's what they don't tell you about therapy. But I didn't tell you that. Go to therapy. How do you tell someone with BPD you're not going to feel this fear of abandonment? But to do that, you need to do something that makes you fear that and feel that more than anything. More than anything. And now I feel, I don't know, so much better for it. God. Just so much better for it. It's one of those ones. Were we still talking about confidence? Was that still a thing? So it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, as fun as it's been talking to you all, what else have I got to talk about? One-on-ones are available now. If anyone's interested in that, go and hit me up at earlymorningbarking.com. There's a button you'll find to go and book something. That would be good. Doing a couple of those, I think, would make a massive difference to my life as well. And I think I might actually be able to do some good with it. So I can sort of teach BPD life skills. All this stuff that we're talking about. Of course, I'm not perfect. I'm not doing therapy. I'm not going to help anybody work through any trauma or fix any deep-seated problems or anything like that. And I certainly can't handle being there for people to unload trauma onto. But if people want to talk about favorite people and getting over that, or building confidence, or any number of things, then that I can do. And that might be worth time and effort and attention. So that's all there, earlymorningbarking.com. And there's all that stuff there at patreon.com/earlymorningbarking. Go and sign up there. There's extra videos and content. And who knows, a chat room of Discord where maybe you can phone into a live show at some point. We need to figure out a way to do this. this is another reason why I miss my Mac. This is why I need to do one-on-ones so I can get a Mac again, so I can do all this live stuff in a way that works and I know what I'm doing, because this Windows shit just isn't doing it anymore. And this computer's 5 years old. And, you know, that's it. So head on over to all those things and maybe we'll get this stuff even better and it will be awesome. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'm going to take off now. I've been talking a lot today. Go and watch today's video. I might do a TikTok video to go out with this. Do you know I did a live TikTok earlier today as well? I've talked a lot today. So I barely left this room. I've not left the house. Oh, I did leave the house. I forgot. 10 minutes. That's all it was. I should go for a walk. I might be going crazy. You lot take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.